Techart Construction. And the bid is actually for $23,800,000 for the Angel Camp bypass, which has
Great.
been 20 plus years in the making, as a lot of you know who have been watching this process for the 20 plus years.
And it came in under the engineering estimate.
Under
so
the engineering,
I guess,
so Tim McSorley, who
Yeah.
is the director of COG, was, I'm
Mhm.
sure, very pleased.
Yeah, he was.
You spoke
Yeah,
with him.
and I think it's and so it looks like, and yes, this still has to go through the formal process
Yes,
because
yes,
Caltrans
exactly.
now has to certify the bid and make sure that they did it right.
That Techart
I would
can
feel a
do
little
the
be a little-
construction.
Yeah, a little more
Yes.
worried if it was, like we were joking
Yes,
last
Billy
night.
Bob's
If
Road
I
Construction
had
Company,
submitted
yes.
a bid, there would probably be a little more of a vetting process.
That's right.
Than,
In other words, they just throw you right out.
yeah.
Who is this guy?
So anyway,
and it could actually break ground as early as September.
early as September.
Mhm.
I mean, realistically, it's probably going to be first of the spring. I mean, they may do the official.
They might do the official groundbreaking, but it
Yeah.
takes a while for these things to happen. And actually, compared to 20 years, not too long.
Oh, I know.
Not too long
I
at
know.
all. So it's actually sort of an interesting thing to watch come to fruition.
And there's we heard somebody saying that we was talking to somebody today that they were not really even born yet.
That's a little frightening. Not even born yet when the process started
Yeah,
thinking.
when they
Yes,
started
when they
doing
started
it.
actually
So
thinking about it.
know.
So, yeah, and actually quite a few of our children in the community really won't know anything about the bypass. So
well, I
it's,
think it'll
it's
help.
interesting how things change.
And there's interesting things. I know there's a little bit of trepidation on some people's part about what will happen to Downtown Angels Camp.
Oh,
But if you look at
Downtown Angels Camp is just very nice.
well, I know, but if you look at interesting, what I was trying to get, if you look
Yes.
at traffic studies and what has happened is if they build a bypass, it's one thing if it's in a town. For example, I don't know how to say this, but say it's a town like Turlock or Modesto or something where
Exactly.
it's not necessarily a tourist draw. But if they do a bypass around a tourist town, usually it helps the town.
Exactly, it takes
Because
off.
it makes it more of a pedestrian-friendly place. So you can actually build it as more of a retail center, which
Exactly.
I think should be pretty cool.
It will be. It will be. And also, Board of Supervisors study session. If you tuned into us last night, we thought it may or may not be going on. Apparently, it was not.
We guessed
a
right on
lot
that
of
one.
a lot of people were there at 1:30 when it was supposed to begin, and they waited until 5 o'clock.
And I thought it was kind of funny
And-
that supervisors actually thanked Stephanie Moreno because
Well,
they
she
said that
went
she
down
was
there.
doing the soft shoe. She was keeping the crowd warm. She was.
She was trying
Keeping
hard.
them.
She
Yeah,
really
they were.
was.
They were
She
doing
really
the
was.
keeping the crowd. And I don't know if she broke into song.
I don't know.
We'll
I
have
don't
to.
know. We should have got video footage of that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if she
actually.
broke into song.
But what they did is they actually moved the study session to August 21st. And for those of you who did not possibly watch our show last night, the
what?
study
There was somebody that didn't watch.
The
Oh,
study session was actually, it was a general plan update, town hall /
Right.
study session that was going to discuss whether or not or how community plans were going to be included in the general plan.
right.
And there's a lot of people with a lot of vested interest in community plans because obviously people want a voice in their community.
Yes.
So this particular study session had a lot of interest. Not that the rest of them do not, but this one had a lot of interest.
Yeah.
And, they decided to move it to August 21st. And so mark that date on your calendar if you'd
Day
like to
that
go.
will live in. No, wait.
Yes, something like that. August 21st. Also, Sheriff's Department news.
Sheriff's Department got a
They
grant.
actually got a grant from the Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Program for over $15,000. In fact, the total number was $15,786 to help them with law enforcement in our little rural county. And part of that money will go to purchase 7 tactical vests, 7 cameras, 7 recorders.
So they're going to compete with us then?
I think so. Actually, it's like evidence gathering and
Right.
helping them with the gang enforcement and,
Okay.
and that type of thing. But that's a nice little boost
Yeah.
for our county. And there have been obviously some issues with gangs moving into the
Yeah.
county, and Sheriff
Yes.
Downham has been very responsive with that.
And I think it's as they get squeezed out of the valley, there's only
one place for them to go
is up, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Should I segue into our fire story?
Our fire story, yes.
And I stopped by today the house that burned down in Hathaway Pines a couple days ago, and I was expecting just to get a little on Sunday, and I was expecting just to get a little shot, and but the people, the homeowners were there, and they were gracious enough to talk on camera, and I asked them how they were doing. And they were basically overwhelmed by the support that they've gotten from the community.
Exactly.
And it's just and it was the Fallon family. And Fallin, and it's Chris Fallon, and Kendra, and Jacob. And they really wanted to say thanks to their friends and neighbors, and also especially the Ebbets Pass Fire Department.
Yes.
And it was not the reception that I
had anticipated.
Yeah, and it was because this is one of those moments in people's lives when everything's.
Well, their house burned down.
Their house burned down in 15 minutes, and they got nothing left.
Exactly,
I mean, nothing.
It was burned to the ground.
And they have nothing left. And he is a tow truck driver for Sambury, and he says people that he's helped along the road or something. There's people that kids brought their piggy banks and things like that. People that he had taken out of a snowbank that he never charged, and it was very touching. And we're going to go to a piece of video here now that is it is our little chat that we had with them.
Yes.
And there may be a change in the audio level, so if you need to adjust your volume on it, but just as a little preface. But here we go, and this is the Fallon family. And basically, the interview starts off with he and I speaking for a couple minutes, and then there's the thank you from all the entire family. And
yes.
It's very touching. It's very touching. And here we go.
Yes.
Good afternoon. My name's John with the Pine Tree, and this is kind of a somber little recording today. I'm here with Chris Fallon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
and
you.
I guess this is unfortunately the house burned down a couple days ago, but also there's been a little bit of good happen out of it, huh?
Yes, sir. There has been. The fire department, Ebbets Pass Fire Department, has stepped up and offered me anything we needed for help.
Wow.
The Moose Lodge, White Pines Outdoors.
Very nice.
All my friends and family and people I've helped have come through to help us make this a better thing. It's kind of hard to talk about. We pretty much couldn't get anything out of the house. It burned up so quick.
You said 15 minutes? And
15 minutes. We had time to try to put it out, and by then we couldn't get back in to get anything out. And my family was okay. Our pets were all good. And my neighbors have just totally taken us in, and I hope I never have to leave this community. It's a really great place to live, and I can't thank everybody enough.
Anything else you need now?
Not now. We're overwhelmed with stuff. We're having a hard time finding where to put it until we get a house.
Okay.
My neighbors next to us that have a cabin, a weekend cabin, have offered to find us a rental or possibly rent that to us.
Does it need to be proximity? It'd be good too, huh?
It would keep us close to where everything's being rebuilt and worked on.
Good. So
Really
everything
good.
was, for the most part, insurance will cover?
I think so.
Good.
I think so.
Good.
I'll know tomorrow when the adjuster comes.
Hey, thank you. And
Thank
I'm
you
sorry,
for-
and I'm glad the community's.
This is a
coming through. So,
great area to live in, and work in, and have a family in. There's no better place to live.
Cool.
No way.
Thank you, and good luck.
Thank you, Calaveras County and Ebbets Pass firefighters.
And all our friends. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody.
And we're back.
And we're back.
And
Isn't that sort of a touching little story?
Oh, very. And it was,
Absolutely.
you go to expecting to see him, and they were, they were upset the loss of their belongings and things like that. But you could tell they were genuinely appreciative of everyone in the community, and it was really
That's one thing about this community.
it really is.
It's amazing how it comes together to support people in times of need.
When they really need it.
When they really need it.
Mhm.
And there have been numbers bandied around that the county as a whole raises over $3 million annually for charity.
Right.
And that's not including supporting families in need or coming to the forefront when people need them. So this small little county of
per capita. Yeah, so you figure, what is that per capita?
I don't know, but you're figuring it out.
I am. I'm doing it as we speak. 3 million.
3 million.
Divided by 50,000.
Well, it's not quite 50,000, but it's
Wow.
awfully close.
Oops.
Oopsie
I
daisies.
times.
Wow.
Well, that's a
whole
lot
lot of
anyway.
Yes.
Oops. But, it was yeah. I mean, if you've seen people that have had fundraisers, if they've had cancer or things
Yes.
like that, it's,
Yes.
and it's really one of those things where they said they'd never leave the community.
Yes.
It's,
Yeah.
because people showed up, literally, you saw people, the kids would show up with their piggy banks. And
Yes. Here you go.
And we asked them if they needed anything. They said no, everything's covered.
Everything was overwhelmingly covered.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's, and obviously they'll have some trying times ahead, but it was a very, very touching piece.
Yes, definitely. And actually tonight, something interesting is happening as far as the music.
Pray
in the
tell, what
parks.
is it?
Pray tell, pray tell. Music in the Parks, supported or put on by the Calaveras County Arts Council, is actually bringing the Columbia College Big Band heads to Angels Camp tonight.
Very nice.
They're going to be playing at Utica Park. It's a free concert.
Okay.
It starts at 6:30. So after you finish watching us,
Get in the
you can
car.
run down
run
there
down and
see
go.
some big band swinging entertainment. So that's kind of a cool thing. And we have other entertainment news too, even though it's not
We do.
entertainment night tonight.
Tomorrow afternoon, we're going to be interviewing the executive director of the Bear Valley Music Festival. So we'll have that video for tomorrow night's news. And this is, I talked to her today. The ticket sales are going well. Looks
Good.
like the Pops concert is almost sold out. So
Oh,
if you want to
already.
get in to see the Pops, get your tickets now. That one's almost sold out. And it looks like they're gearing up for a good
for a
for a
good
good
season.
run.
Definitely.
And she said that they have been able to get connections a little bit from the tenant there. So we may try to do
we
a
may
news
try to do news
from
the
Bear Valley Music Festival.
Yes.
And no, we won't break into song like we almost did.
I hear you do a Mean River dance though.
No.
No?
No.
Oh,
No,
okay.
I think my
had
son
heard
does.
that. Okay, I had
Yeah.
heard that. Maybe I was confusing father and son there.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I have no rhythm at all. None.
So that's actually something to watch for.
Yes.
Tomorrow we'll have that little clip for
And
you.
going on right now is the Arnold Rural Living Community-Based Mobility Plan Steering Committee meeting. So
There's
we'll say
a
that
mouthful.
we'll say that 4 or 5 times, and that's going on at the Ebbets Pass Fire Department right now.
Yes.
And this is from that grant, you may recall, that there was a grant that was funded last year on doing a basically bike and pedestrian type of things for Arnold, for
Plan
the Arnold
for
area.
the Arnold
Yeah.
area. Because there's not a lot of biking and pedestrian areas
Right.
at all. People sort of walk on the
Bike
side
on
of the
Highway
road
4. Yeah.
without any bike trails or sidewalks. Exactly. So
Right.
this was to look into that.
And also coming up, as we'll talk more on this on our entertainment one,
That's right. For tomorrow
but this
night.
is the next round for Murphy's Creek Theater, Voice of the
Exactly.
Prairie, right?
And that's sort of a somewhat contemporary play. Somewhat.
Somewhat. So 20th century.
20th century radio broadcasting type of presentation. So that should be an interesting one to go see. And On to state news.
Oh, you have some good state news?
I have interesting state news. Obviously, the budget has not passed.
Now, I guess as a little interesting thing is you were supposed to have an interview today, weren't you, for Inside View?
Inside View. I was supposed to interview Dave Cox.
Okay.
Senator Dave Cox, who is our senator for District 1, which we belong to. And because of the state budget impasse, he had to cancel his interview and his day in the district today. Because they are all staying close to the Capitol.
So if they need to
in case they need to vote. Exactly. But this was sort of an interesting headline. State Democrats mull GOP cut proposals. And what it says, this is from the Sacramento Bee. The Senate on Wednesday delayed its consideration of the overdue state budget for another day as Republicans released a full list of proposed cuts. Senate President Pro Tem Don Parada said majority Democrats need another day to review the GOP list, some of which was revealed Tuesday night. Part of that list was actually cutting welfare in the state.
Really?
Yes, so that's that.
So cutting how much of welfare?
They didn't really specify. Let's see.
That ought to go over like a lead balloon.
Tens of thousands of poor families off of welfare is what it says, and make dozens of other additional program cuts to public assistance. And so the Democrats need to mull that over. So I'm guessing we will not have a state budget for quite a while. And also, this was interesting. Feinstein endorsed Hillary Clinton in the presidential race. So we're starting with the
endorsements.
We're starting with the endorsement process, which is very interesting because it's so early.
How well do you think a ticket of Obama and Clinton would do?
I can't see Clinton wanting to be a VP on someone else's ticket.
Well, I mean the other way around.
The other way around?
Yeah.
I don't know
if he would do it.
I don't know if he would do it. He may.
Well, I mean,
it
if you follow political stuff,
exactly.
There's interesting things. Is you find the ones that want to get elected. Their choice of VPs matters because if you look at JFK and Johnson, it's kind of an open secret that. They despised each other.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they really did. I mean, it was, and I think, and this is nothing any, we go.
No, we don't
JFK.
know about
but if you look at history on this, and this is pretty an open secret to where JFK represented everything LBJ despised. That northeastern, moneyed family, and vice versa. The South and but they needed each other strategically.
Oh yes,
to
it's
win.
all about strategy in politics.
Yeah,
it really is.
Because if you go back and look at the 1960 election, if you think the one in 2000 was tight, most historians now, a lot of them will agree that basically Nixon won in 60. And some of the people, I've heard some people say that probably bore out some of his paranoia in later years because,
but then it ended up landing the way it landed.
Okay, but the other thing though is if let's say they can work out their differences and actually make a combined ticket with let's say Hillary on top
and
Obama as the V, that would be regardless of the way the political, it'd be a tough one. Do you think it'd be tough to beat or not?
It depends on who the Republicans would put up against them. Because you're dealing with the first woman.
Right.
And someone who admittedly has only had Senate experience with Obama.
Right.
And moderates don't like either of them apparently. The polls show, but of course you have to take polls with a grain of salt.
Right.
That the moderates prefer Obama, but they don't really like Hillary so much. It would be an interesting ticket to see whether it would do well or whether it would implode.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, that's
but
the thing.
It would be very interesting. It would be very interesting.
But if the Republicans put up a very strong candidate against them, then it gives them an advantage.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents.
All right. just a.
And
Also, did you have another piece you were going to go to right now?
no, I know.
One other thing, this is kind of the business and community development as well, since we've been talking about that a lot this week. This coming Saturday, they're having the next Bear Valley meeting. As far as the developers, Chuck Tenniscatter is going to make a presentation and accept in Q&A. Now, this presentation is aimed primarily at the residents of Bear Valley. They're going to have some additional meetings in Arnold and also in Murphy's. But I think this is an indication that things are going forward.
Yes.
And we've heard actually some good things about, we haven't been able to verify them, so we can't really come out and say much. But it looks like it's going forward, and hopefully they can keep making their date targets.
Yes.
And because I know they have 3 EIR meetings that they have to do before they can actually break ground. They've done one of those impact report
statements,
and they did one in March, which was the first scoping session one, and I think they are due fairly soon to do the next one. And I think the next one, last we heard, and this may change, that the actual scoping was going to be in Jackson, actually, because for Alpine County has some interesting things, because lots of times they actually meet in Jackson, especially during the winter, because that's their meeting point. Because if the pass is closed and the county seat is Markleyville, it's kind of
it's a little difficult to get to.
Yes, it makes video conferencing very compelling.
Exactly.
But there's some good stuff happening up at Bear Valley, which I think that bodes well for the whole area. I mean, if you look at, in the county, and I was talking to one of the Chamber of Commerce board members this afternoon, and for Calaveras County, it's an interesting thing economically is as we make a transition from agricultural and logging-based economy to a more of a high-tech, touristy combination, it's a bit interesting transition.
Yes.
It's not everybody's welcomes it, but I think that we have to.
It's just change.
Yeah, it's change.
Impending change. And talk about change on the national level. Simpsons movie is coming out this
There you go.
And exactly. And I don't know if any of you have heard this, but 7-Eleven changed quite a few of their stores into Simpson Quickie Marts. And they sold things like Krusty O's and Sprinklets donuts, apparently. And,
very nice.
And apparently the sales doubled in those stores.
Doubled?
Doubled. Yes. Sales doubled in those stores that were turned into Quickie Marts. And also Drew Carey will be the new host of Price is Right.
Yes.
He's replacing Bob Barker on the longest running game show in television history. So those are sort of interesting little tidbits.
And I guess, so we hit our time mark. Should we do weather?
We should do weather.
We should do weather. All right, and we'll start off on Arnold tonight. It will be clear with a low of 66, a high of 90 degrees tomorrow, a low of 66 and a high of 90 degrees on Friday, and a high of 91 on Saturday.
Yep. And Bear Valley, actually, it's going to be a little warm up there. Tonight, mostly clear at 54-degree low. Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 87 degrees.
Ooh, that is a bit warm.
Tomorrow. Friday, 87 degrees, partly cloudy. Saturday, 88 degrees in Bear Valley.
Ooh, it's going to be warm under the tent.
Oh, definitely. So make sure you take your bottles of water with you.
Murphy's. Low of 64, high of 95 tomorrow. Low of 64 tomorrow night, a high of 95 on Friday, and a high of 96 on Saturday.
And this is interesting. Angels Camp, it's one of those funny weeks, actually, where Angels Camp is lower temperatures than Murphy's.
Angels Camp / San Andreas, Copperopolis, Valley Springs.
Well, not quite Copperopolis, Valley Springs.
Oh, okay.
Different elevations, different topography. Okay. Tonight, clear with a low of 66 degrees. Thursday, 91 degrees, high, sunny. Friday, sunny again at 91 degrees. And Saturday, mostly sunny at 92 degrees.
Aha! Bangor, Maine weather. 87 today, 61 tonight. 93 tomorrow, the low of 63, and 83 72 on Saturday with rain and stuff like that.
All sorts of stuff. So, that's our
That's our
broadcast
news.
for tonight.
And thank you. Sorry for the little technical glitch getting going.
That's right. We'll see you again tomorrow.
See you tomorrow night.
We'll let you know what to do.
Yeah,
in
we'll be your
Calaveras
entertainment
County.
edition, and we appreciate you stopping by. We do.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have to add some more weather towns.
That's
See, now
right.
we've been seeing
Valley
it by
Springs and
Kirkwood and all the way up
Copperopolis
to Ione. So we need to do. We need to expand our list.
Expand our list of weather.
I mean, we included Bangor, Maine, but
That's right. For our viewer in Bangor, Maine. Thank you. Good